You know, the electric vehicle market has been absolutely on fire lately. Incredible tech, stunning designs. But let's be real, the price tags have mostly been, well, pretty high. So what if all that is finally about to change?
Yeah, is the wait for an EV that most of us can actually afford finally over? I mean, that's the big question for so many people, right? There's this huge gap in the market for a car that's stylish, practical, and doesn't completely break the bank. Well, today, we're looking at a new contender that thinks it has the answer.
And here it is. The challenger we're talking about is the Kia EV2. It's a compact electric SUV, and it seems like it was designed from the ground up to be the entry point into electric driving for a whole new wave of people. And you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what Kia's own CEO had to say. He talks about expanding their reach to customers who want a car that's not just compact, but also spacious, capable, and emotionally rewarding. Now, those last words are key. This isn't just about building a cheap EV. No, the whole strategy is about making the entire experience accessible and genuinely desirable.
Okay, so that all sounds really good, right? But the crucial question is, does the car have the specs to back up that vision? Let's dive in, break down the numbers, and see what the EV2 is really made of.
All right, let's kick things off with the standard model. It's got a 42.2 kilowatt-hour battery. And what does that get you? Well, you're looking at nearly 200 miles of range, a very respectable 145 horsepower, and it'll get you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 8.7 seconds. For zipping around the city and your daily commute, those are some really capable numbers.
And I know what you're probably thinking. What about charging? Range anxiety is a real thing. But with its DC fast charging, you can juice this thing up from 10 to 80% in just about half an hour. That's literally just enough time to grab a coffee before you're right back on the road.
And this is pretty smart. Kia knows that not everyone has the same needs. They give you options. If that standard range is enough for your daily life, fantastic. But for anyone who needs to go the extra mile, there's a long-range version with a bigger 61 kilowatt-hour battery, pushing your potential range all the way up to 453 kilometers.
But you know, this story isn't just about the specs. Not at all. Kia's playing a different game here. They're not just selling a car. They're selling an idea, an experience. They built this whole strategy to connect with drivers on an emotional level, especially people who might be buying their very first car.
They're calling it the power of firsts. So for a second, forget horsepower and kilowatt hours. This is all about what a car represents. You know, that first solo drive, the first road trip, that first real taste of independence. Kia is positioning the EV2 to be a companion for all those huge life moments. And think about it. This is a huge departure from how most EVs are sold. Traditional marketing is all about luxury, insane acceleration, and complex tech. Kia is taking a totally different road, focusing on the human experience. And honestly, it's a really smart way to stand out in a crowded market by appealing to a completely different set of values.
And that whole philosophy flows right into the car's interior. To deliver on that power of firsts promise, they've created what they're calling the picnic box cabin. The goal is an open, calming space where those experiences can actually happen. You've got this wraparound dashboard to make it feel super spacious and this massive triple-screen display for all your info. It's modern, it's tech-forward, but it's also got a focus on eco-friendly, fabric-rich materials.
But let's be honest, all of this, the specs, the marketing, the design, it all comes down to one thing. For a car to be truly accessible, it has to have the right price tag. This really is the moment of truth.
And there it is. The Kia EV2 is set to start at 26,600 euros. Let that sink in for a second. This is the number that could genuinely unlock the EV market for a whole wave of new buyers who've been waiting on the sidelines. It puts the EV2 right in the ring as a direct, aggressive competitor to gasoline-powered cars of a similar size.
Of course, that starting price is for the base light trim. Let's just walk through the options here using this Italian pricing model as a guide. You can step up from the light to the air trim for just under 30,000 euros. Then, if you want that bigger 61 kilowatt-hour battery, you're looking at the Earth and GT line trims, which come in at just over 38 and 40,000 euros. So yeah, this gives people a real range of choices.
So, what does this all mean for the wider car world? Well, the launch of an affordable, well-designed EV from a huge manufacturer like Kia, it's more than just a new car. It really feels like a signal of a major market shift.
Now, it is important to note the strategy here. The EV2 we've been talking about is aimed squarely at the European market. But Kia isn't forgetting North America. They're actually rolling out a very similar strategy there with a slightly different model, the EV3 compact SUV, which is also aimed at making electric mobility much more accessible.
And you know, the timing for this car might just be perfect. With global fuel costs being so volatile, the financial appeal of switching to an affordable electric vehicle just gets stronger and stronger. For a lot of people, the savings at the pump could be that final push they need.
Which kind of leaves us with the final thought. Kia is betting that a car is way more than just a machine. It's an enabler of experiences. And if the whole concept of a first car can be redefined by emotion and accessibility, it really makes you wonder, what other big life moments will our vehicles be designed around in the future?
And that's all for this explainer. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We put a lot of work into breaking these stories down, and it's your viewership and support that makes it all possible. We really, truly appreciate it. Until next time.